You are always around. Okay, I'll share my screen. By the way, is it shared? Okay. So with EVIEWS, everybody knows EVIEWS unless, except you, but it's very easy software to use. Similar, but different. SPSS is mostly for primary data. EVIEWS is, yes. No, it's not part of this course. You can always study it on your own. We use just EVIEWS. Okay, guys, so as you know, with EVIEWS, it's a statistical software, an econometric software. Let me shut it down first. Okay, you can leave if you want to. Yeah, sure. So this EVIEW software, we use it as an econometric software to do econometrics. There are so many things we can do with the software. So the first thing is you need to have the software on your laptop, like download it and install it. He can help you, or Barish can. So with this software, we can, where is it? I have both 10 and 12. Let me open 12. First of all, I should show you how to download data, right? Did I show you in Bank 504? Yes.
How to download data?
Yeah. You can download data from the World Bank. You can also download data from Yahoo Finance, stock price data. And we have our lovely Refinitiv icon. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to show you. So World Bank, just type World Bank Data Bank. Actually, on World Bank, we have so many databases, but for these macroeconomic indicators, we mostly use World Development Indicators. So if you type World Bank Data Bank, you can come here. Where's my cursor? Okay, just open this. And you can just click on this GDP, because at the end of the day, it will take us to where we can download the data. It's trying to be slow. Okay, so you see here, database, like 85 different databases, but we mostly use this one, World Development Indicators, especially for these macroeconomic variables. So clear section, first I'll clear section. Okay. Then you can choose, let's say I want to download data for, which country should we use?
BRICS.
Which country is that?
Brazil, Russia.
Ah, okay, BRICS.
Yeah.
I like Turkey, so we'll use Turkey.
Okay.
Type Turkey and press enter. Turkey, or did they change the name?
Turkey now.
Interesting. Okay, so just click it. Then let's say time series. Let's say I want to have data for the last 50 years, but you can choose your time span. To make it easy, just click 50. You have data for the last 50 years if it's available. Then with series, let's say I want to get GDP, economic growth. So let's say GDP. So search for GDP. anyone, but most of the times you can use GDP constant 2015 US dollar. Okay, let's take this one. So let's say, for instance, I want to investigate the impact of foreign direct investment and, let's say, maybe income on GDP. So this is GDP. So let's type foreign direct investment. My laptop is trying to be slow. Which one can we choose? Let's take net inflows, percentage of GDP. Let's take this one. Then let's say income. Anything, you can download whatever you want, if at all is available. So let's choose, I don't know, anything. Let me just choose anything. It doesn't matter. So once you have chosen the country, the series, that is the variables, and the time span, come here, click on apply changes. If you apply changes, the data it will load, and the data is now available. You can download it. Look at download options. So you can download it. Why is not coming? Okay, so Excel, normally you download it as Excel file, because from Excel you can import it to EVIEWS. So if I click Excel, it downloads automatically. If you look bottom left, right? And if I open it, I'll have my data. I was thinking I can find time to tell you the overview of econometrics, but unfortunately I cannot find time.
Why you are doing the regression?
Sorry?
Why you are doing the regression? You know?
Okay, I'll try. So slow. Well, my laptop is very slow these days because I have too many pages open, so that's why. Okay, finally we got our data. So if you see, like, the way the data downloaded, it downloaded in like a horizontal format, but we did it in a vertical format to put on EVIEWS. So we have to transpose it. If you, as I told you during metrics, transpose of a matrix, you are changing the rows and columns. So it's the same thing we are doing here. Just interchange the rows and columns of this data. So it's easy. What I do is I'll just, by the way, I should delete this thing. I don't want it. It's just telling us when the data was updated. It's not important. So delete. So my own style, other people have different styles, but my own style of doing it is like copying everything. I will select the first cell here. Okay, if you're proficient in Excel, then you can do other styles. It's my own style anyway. I hold shift and click, then copy. Let's copy, come to an empty cell, right click, and then paste options. There are many options. You see here is paste, values, formulas, transpose. So choose the fourth option, transpose, and it just interchanges the rows and the columns. It transposes the data. It makes your life easy, right? So yeah, it's data is not available in some years. It happened. This thing is slow. You can now delete. You can delete this one. We no longer want it because we already transposed it anyway. So you can just press delete on your keyboard. It deletes. Then now you can arrange your data. You can try to make it look good. It doesn't matter. So this is our data for Turkey. This is GDP. This is FDI. And this is, what is this, exports, whatever. So we can import this data from Excel to EVIEWS, because EVIEWS is a software we are going to use to do all these kind of interesting things. So now how can we import this data? First of all, while arranging your data, make sure it's uniform. Like, for instance, if you look at the first two items, GDP and FDI, they go right up to 2021. But this other one ends at 2020. So we cannot use a time period of up to 2021. So most probably our time period will end in 2020. So I can delete this one. So our time period will be from 1972 till 2020. So, by the way, this is time series data. You know, we have three main types of data: time series, cross-sectional, and panel. Time series, by the way, what is time series data? What is the difference between time series, cross-sectional, panel?
Cross-sectional, it focuses on different countries with different variables in 1 year. Like I have 5 countries, these 5 countries have GDP, and it focuses on 1 year.
The time series.
Yeah, this is cross-section.
There was time series.
Time series, it goes, for example, one country for over a long time.
There was panel.
Panel is next to panel.
Okay, so time series data is when you are data for one subject. It must not be country, because you are saying country. It can be anything. But it is the data for one subject over a period of time for many years. Time series. Cross-sectional data is the data for many subjects at a particular point in time. It can be countries, it can be banks, it can be whatever, but let's say subjects, because we say countries, it looks as if it's just for countries. So it is data for many subjects at a particular point in time. For instance, you're trying to study different banks in 2020. That's cross-sectional. Then panel data now is a mixture of both. It has, that is both cross-sectional and time series. So for instance, you're studying many subjects over a period of time, panel data. I'll tell you something about panel data, but first let me show you how to import this data to EVIEWS time series, right? So with EVIEWS, let me close it and then we open it. Why is it not closing? My laptop is slow. Oh my God. Okay, I open it. Come here, create new work file. Now, here, dated. If you see the frequency, you have unstructured, undated, dated, regular frequency, balance panel. For time series, we are going to use dated. If it is not arranged, if it is, well, for cross-sectional, we can use unstructured, undated. And then for panel data, we'll use balance panel, but only if it is a balance panel, because we also have unbalanced panel. I'll tell you about it. So first, time series, we'll choose dated, undated. Now with frequency, we have annual data, that is every year. We have semi-annual, which is every 6 months, or you can say biannual. We have quarterly, that's 4 times a year, every 3 months. You know, there are 4 quarters in a year. You have monthly, like every month. You have bi-monthly, twice a month. You have fortnightly. Fortnightly means every 2 weeks. You know, a fortnight means 2 weeks. 10-day, whatever. So these are frequencies. So since our data is annual, we'll take annual. And what is our start date? 1972, right? And end date? 2020? Okay, 2020. Just click OK. Now, you have to input the data. You have the command. You have this command space. So what you write here is data and then you write the variables. So our variables, what are our variables? GDP first, and please write the variables in the order in which they are on Excel. Now you see here the first variable is GDP, FDI, and exports, right? So I'll write here GDP, FDI, EXP. You can use any notation. If I press Y, okay, they rejected the EXP, so maybe I can use a different word. You know why they rejected EXP? Because EVIEWS understands EXP as exponential, so you cannot use it for a variable. So maybe I'll use T. It's fine. So after that, I can just copy my data, just the data, without the years and without the heading. Just copy the data and then go and paste. Paste in the first cell, the very first cell there. So highlight the first cell and then paste. Why? It's not paste. What happens? Okay, I copy again. Copy. So after pasting, you can delete. Now, sorry? Okay, so we have our data on EVIEWS, in EVIEWS. With this data, we can do any and everything. I don't think I should even tell you what we can do. Subsequently, we'll see it, right? Today is just to show you how to import data. But if you want to know, for instance, we can draw the graphs. Let's say we want to draw the graphs of these three variables. Just highlight all of them. That is to highlight, click the first one, hold the control key on your laptop, and then just click the others. If you can press enter on your laptop, come to view, then you can come to graph. Here, just change it single to multiple so you can see all the graphs at once. And if you click OK, it gives you the graphs. So you have the graphs of the variables. Also, if you come to view descriptive statistic, common sample, take common sample. By the way, common sample or individual sample will give you the same results if you have the same number of observations. But you know, some variables might have more observations than others. So if you take individual sample, it will calculate based on the number of observations. So it's good to take common sample. And you have the descriptive statistics, like the mean, the median, the kurtosis. We'll talk about this kind of things. If you come again to view, you can also check the correlation, like come to covariance analysis. Change this covariance to correlation because we are trying to check the correlation matrix. And if you click OK, you have the correlation matrix. You can copy, paste, and analyze. So just trying to show you how we can do some interesting things on EVIEWS. Also, you can convert these variables into log. That you can get the natural logarithm of these variables. That was we did logarithms, right? Indices are logarithms. So you see how we are applying this maths is useful. It's because we have EVIEWS, which software can do it for us. But if you don't have these softwares, you have to do it manually. So let's say we want to get the natural logarithm of these three variables. What you can do is, the command is generate, G-E-N-R-O. First of all, if you type this first command, data, you're telling EVIEWS that you want to input data. It understands the language. Now, if you type G-E-N-R-O, it's short for generate. You're telling EVIEWS that you want to generate something. So let's say I want to generate lane GDP. So I want to generate a variable called lane GDP. And I'm telling EVIEWS that in order for you to generate this lane GDP, you should use this formula, log GDP. So I'm telling EVIEWS that generate a variable called lane GDP by taking the logarithm of GDP. And if I press enter, you see the variable here, than GDP, which is actually the log of GDP. So you can do the same. Generate ln FDI equals log FDI. You can do for all. In order to save time, you must not do one after the other. Once you do one, you can just be replacing. Let's say I want to do for EXPT, I can just come here, change this FDI and put EXPT, and then change this FDI and put EXPT, and just press enter. It gives you. So to save time, you can do these kind of things. So subsequently, we'll see more interesting things. That was just for time series data. Now I will show you. Save? No. Okay. So that was World Bank. Let's see how we can download data from Yahoo Finance. Stock price data. Stock prices. Because of course we need stock prices, we need market indices. So we have Finance Yahoo Finance. It gives us stock market data. I don't really like this Finance Yahoo too much because at times you try to download, they will say you need to subscribe. Let's try. Most probably we might succeed. So let's say I want to get the data of any company. Which company should let's use Facebook, Meta. Are we going to get it? Computer slow. Okay, so this is the Facebook company, Meta. I want to get its stock prices, historical. So I'll come to historical data. Historical data. By the way, guys, this 204.93, this is the current share price of Facebook. This is the current share price of that stock. So you see, this is how we can download the data. Slow. So this data which we are seeing here is just from yesterday till today. Or let me see, March 16, March 15, March 14. Okay. This is data from, by the way, what is today's date? 17. So this data is March right up to yesterday, January, whatever. But you can customize it to the time period you want. For instance, you can see daily data. This is daily. Slow. You cannot? Yeah, I'm trying to do it now, but it's slow. I'm thinking it's not working. My laptop is slow. Yeah, sure. You can change it. You can change the period, but I don't know what's happening to my laptop. Like you see this time period, if you click here, you can choose the time period you want to download the data from, for maybe for the last six days, maybe the last 2 months. But I don't know. Maybe I have too many pages open, so. Oh my God. Okay, we'll come back to it if it decides to open. In order not to waste time, let me show you how to import cross-sectional data and panel data.
I think that's close it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Guys, too many things open. Where can I see panel data? Let me see. Okay, guys, this is panel. Do I have cross-sectional? I don't have cross-sectional data here. Okay, I'll show you panel data. This is panel data. Guys, we have what we call balanced panel and we have unbalanced panel. What's the difference? I'll show you. Everything is slow. Even Excel is not opening.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying. I don't know, which means even the icon, maybe I will only show you next week. But you want it urgently, right? Okay, I can show you privately, maybe after the class. But the others. Sorry? Okay.
Yeah, we all have it.
What tutorial?
Investment appraisal.
Oh, with Daniel.
Yeah.
2:30.
Yeah.
All of you are doing investment appraisal.
Almost. Yeah, okay.
Very interesting course, right?
Very interesting. 7:30 we finish yesterday. On 7.
Very interesting course. Yeah. But it's step by step. You want to skip? Yeah, but she does not know. I'm doing it purposely because of her. Else I wouldn't have even recorded. Excel. I cannot close anything in my laptop, else there will be consequences.
You can go back to
No, no, you cannot understand.
Yeah, I know. I have many tabs in my phone.
You cannot understand.
I copied them and put them on Word. So I can find them. I use the same thing, you know, it's just like favorites.
Okay, I think it opened balance panel. So this is balance panel. Now, if you look at this data, you see this is China. If you look all through China, from 2006 right up to 2021, China, right? And then you move to India. The same thing, from 2006 right up to 2021. And then Malaysia, the same thing. And then Singapore, Thailand, the same thing. So what I'm saying is that all the countries or all the subjects have the same time span. If it is from 2006 to 2021 for one country, it has to be the same for all countries. That's a balanced panel. But if they have different time spans, let's say for China is from 2006 to 2021, then for India it's maybe 2006 to 2015, that's an unbalanced panel. If it is unbalanced panel, you cannot use EVIEWS. You have to use data. So EVIEWS accepts only balanced panel. So make sure all cross sections have the same time span, balanced panel. And now, before you input your data to EVIEWS, you must arrange it like this. So you will take the first country or the first cross section and you put all the time span in this order. Let's say China, you put from 2006 to the end, and then you move to the next country. You must arrange it like this before you put on EVIEWS, because this is not how you will download the data. If you download the data, it will not come like this, but you must arrange it in this format. So you choose one cross section, sorry, one subject, and you arrange it according to its time span. Then you choose the rest and you arrange it. So you see China is arranged, India, and so on. If you arrange it like this in a balanced panel, then you can import it to EVIEWS. So first of all, how many cross sections do we have? China, India, Malaysia, Singapore. That's 4, right? Thailand 5, Indonesia 6, Japan 7, Pakistan 8. So we have 8 countries. And then how many observations, like how many years from 2006 to 2021? Is that 16? Okay. So I'll open EVIEWS. EVIEWS. So here, instead of dated, I'll take balance panel. So you see, we can only do balance panel on EVIEWS. If it is on balance panel, you can only do where you can use other softwares, not EVIEWS. So if I take balance panel, what's the start date? 2006 to 2021. And number of cross sections? 8. Then you can now put your data, the same procedure data. And you see what are the variables? Capital, labor force, entrepreneurship, globalization. So I'll just type. Everything is slow. Capital, labor force, entrepreneurship, and globalization. Press enter. Okay, now look at the worksheet. You see 1 2006, 1 2007, 1 2008, 1 right up to 2021, then it moves to 2. So these numbers represent each cross section. So when you see 1, it means the first country there. What was it? China. 2 means the second country. So like when you draw your graphs or anything, you will not see China, Japan, you will just see the numbers 1, 2, but you should know that 1 stands for the first country, 2 stands for the second country. So here I will copy all this data. It's the same thing. Just copy the data. No. But if you draw the graph on Excel, you can put the names. So I'll paste here. And then I'll close. So let's say I have this data. Now, by the way, this, if you see cross ID, it shows us the cross sections 1, 2, 3. So we have the cross sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And then we have dates. It shows us the time series 2006 to 2021. Let's say I want to draw the graph of these variables. Is it 3 or 4? View, graph, let's say multiple graphs. Okay, so now on your graph, you see the numbers 1, 2, 3, but you need to know that 1, what is 1? 1 is the first country, 1 is China, 2 is, maybe you make like a footnote or something. But if you draw this graph on Excel, you can put the countries, whatever. So basically, that's how to do panel data. And even with cross-sectional data, I think it's the same thing. Delete. Okay, I'll close. Save, no. Open. Okay, so with cross-sectional data, if it's time series data, you are using dated regular frequency. Panel data, it should be balanced panel. You use balanced panel. Cross-sectional data, use unstructured, undated, and you just put the number of observations. Because you know cross-sectional data is for one subject, many subjects for 1 year. So let's say we are trying to study the EU countries in 2020. So we are not interested in 2020 because it is just 1 year. We are only checking the number of cross sections. So let's say in European Union we have 27 countries, right? So just come here, put 27, the number of subjects. And if you do that, let's say our data is GDP, FDI, population. So you will have the work file. You just copy your data from Excel and paste here. So since in this case, where you see 1, you know there are 27 EU countries. So where you see 1, you know it is the first country. Where you see 2, it is the second country. So you can assign a number to each country. If you draw the graph, wherever you see 1, you know it is this country. Wherever I see 2, you know it is this country, because you will not see the names of the countries here. So basically that is it for EVIEWS. Where are you going to?
It's 2021.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be 2:30.
I'm losing my mind.
You want to go and smoke?
No, it's not about 2:30. The class is finishing at 2:20. And we didn't have our break, so it's supposed.
Okay, so I've showed you EVIEWS, I've showed you World Bank. I tried showing you Yahoo Finance, but everything is messed up. Let me try one more time. Not functioning. Okay, maybe next class, if it's functioning, we'll see it. Then icon. Since we need it urgently, I'll show you. But for the others, if you don't mind, next week before we do regression, I'll show you icon. So you should know how to download data from Refinitiv icon. And there is another one which I did not know, but she mentioned it to me, so I tried to check it. OBIS. OBIS, you can download stock data about some companies. So because next week I'll give you an overview of econometrics, then we'll do regression, which you already know, so it will take us less time. Then I can show you icon. Okay.
What is all this?
She will tell you.
You know.
So let me stop recording, right?
Will it finish me later? When later?
I don't know. My computer is too slow. It's making my life difficult.
Thank you very much.